Hey there, this is Mr. Icarus, and welcome to yet another edition of Doom Mod Madness. This time round, we're checking out IMPatience, a mod that puts you in the shoes of a disgruntled imp who is quite frankly sick of Doomguys shit. He's decided to take a bit more of a proactive stance and ensure that the goddamn Doomguy takes a dirt nap. Teabagging, obviously optional, but you've got to kill the Doomguy a set number of times in order to complete a level, and when you do, it's onto another randomly selected level to do it all over again. Obviously, the kicker here is that you're approaching levels from a bit of a brand new perspective, and also all of the doors and secret doors are generally wide open, so you've got to kind of account for the movement of this strange AI Doomguy through this level from your perspective, and it's a neat little twist that actually does provide a fair amount of challenge, because the odds are, to be honest, weighted against you. You start your rounds with 60% health, you start the very first level with just your claws and your fireball, which, to be honest, aren't really all that fantastically effective. But as you progress through these levels, you'll be able to build up your own little arsenal and protect yourself a little bit better against the relentless onslaught of the Doomguy. A neat thing about the progress that you make here as well is that Doomguy becomes even more and more deadly as you progress through these stages, so he'll gain access to even more of his armory, up until the point where he has access to a plasma gun and can just completely melt your face off. This mod also does a really fun thing with the difficulty settings as well, so normally you'd expect putting this on ultra violence to be a pretty tough experience for yourself, but no, the difficulty settings here only relate to the Doomguy himself. So you're basically setting how difficult it's going to be for him to get through the level, as opposed for you to succeed. So if you want an absolute cakewalk of a stage, you set this baby on Nightmare, and chances are he'll die before he can even reach you. Now, as neat as the concept behind this is, it doesn't always work as intended. It does fall a bit short in some regards, and one of those is this. This is the gauntlet, and Doomguy just gets stuck. His AI gets a little confused, and he ends up bumbling around in this opening section here, forcing you to just get down there and blitz him until the level is over and done with. It's not an especially satisfying way to play, and doesn't really elevate the mod all that well. And then you get levels like this, which come immediately after, where Doomguy suddenly has a rocket launcher, has a lot more movement through the level, and it just suddenly feels a lot more challenging, a lot more meaty, and a hell of a lot more satisfying to play. So it's definitely a game where some aspects could almost certainly stand to be polished and refined and expanded on. In terms of things that could be expanded on, I just feel like the whole imp concept of IMPatience could be used a hell of a lot more effectively, because after a while you kind of forget. You kind of forget that you have the imp slash attack, you can chuck fireballs, and you just end up relying more and more and more on the standard Doomguy armory. And I feel like that's a shame. I feel like that after every Doomguy kill, you should be able to level up your imp, because let's face it, how many imps in the Doom universe get one over Doomguy himself? You should be able to become an uber imp, have expanded abilities, chuck more powerful and faster fireballs, maybe even gain the ability to buff up existing enemies in the levels, use that level even more effectively against Doomguy himself. And there's a lot of potential here. As you can tell, my mind is racing with all of the possibilities that could be used in this mod, but I'm frustrated that that's not the direction it seems to have gone. But even then, what you've got here is still fun, it's still interesting to play, and there's just something nice about being able to lie in wait to ambush Doomguy, to catch him off guard with his own weaponry. And the live system here really does force you to think a lot more tactically about the situation. You've got to regularly stock up that ammo, you've got to keep track of those med packs, because even though Doomguy has multiple lives and gets to top up his health whenever he returns, you only get one shot. When you die, he gets all his lives back, and as a result, the stakes feel relatively high. There's a nice bit of tension to the gameplay there. Occasionally, though, the odds will feel a little too stacked against you. Some switches won't flip, some bits of level interactivity just won't work, and that's bad for me because it's inconsistent. Some switches do work, some lifts do go up and down, and it just feels like an effort to limit your options, really, which is frustrating. And then you notice that a lot of those switches will sometimes lead to power-ups, like soul spheres, and then you really figure it out. You're like, the author knows that this could be a little too easy if I manage to find power-ups like that. And my argument there is, why have them there in the first place then? You've got the ability to open all these doors, to edit these levels, to facilitate this play mode, but it doesn't feel like enough work's been done. As you can see, I'm having to fight with existing demons here just to get through certain doors so I can actually take on the goddamn Doom guy. And yeah, as I mentioned, it needs polish, it needs a little bit more work. There is a massive amount of potential here, but as of now, it's just a seed of a great idea. I'd love to see that bloom, I'd love to see that expand to something big and badass, but that will take a lot of work, that'll take a lot of time, and as of now, it's perfectly fun, it's perfectly fine. It's got a fair few flaws, but it's worth checking out at the very least. It's a novelty. You'll probably play it once or twice, get the gist, and then move on to something else, but it's a nice twist. A neat little diversion. And I'd be remiss if I didn't at least mention that awesome little animated imp portrait in the middle of the status bar there. That is pretty damn fun and pretty cool. But in any case, if you fancy giving this mod a whirl yourself, the link, as usual, is in the description below. There's no extra map packs needed for this one, it's all included in the same pack. And hopefully you enjoyed watching this video. Feel free to let me know what you thought in the comments below. And don't forget to suggest any mod you'd like to see me play in future episodes of Doom Mod Madness. This has been Mr. Icarus. Thank you very much for watching. Icarus out.